Thank you very much. And good evening, girls, right now. I am truly honored and grateful to be here with you tonight. How's everybody getting on during this rare and challenging time? I hope that this moment is teaching us all what is precious in life, and that we are able to embrace the positive while navigating rough waves. I'm also hopeful that what's taken place helps us to better appreciate and bond with our loved ones while distancing ourselves from others. When my Dutton publicist, Emily Canders, told me about the company's partnership with this organization and its mission to serve young women and gender nonconforming youth, I knew immediately that I wanted to get involved and share my thoughts with you. You are the special ones, and I hope to remind you of just that. When I was a little girl, it wasn't just books about famous people or those who had done incredible things like the Kennedy family, Martin Luther King Jr., John Naismith, and Albert Einstein that inspired me. It was basketball. Actually, any game with a ball. And I didn't just love playing games. I watched, read, and talked sports nearly all the time with my father and the boys in my East Orange neighborhood and school. When you're passionate about something, you eat, drink, and sleep that passion. You breathe it, taste it, smell it, maybe even become it. Back then, if you were a girl who loved sports, you were called a tomboy. That label didn't bother me at all. It didn't shake up my game, cause me to hide my interest, or make me a quick change up on my patterns. There were times when it crossed my mind that perhaps I should be spending my time doing something more ladylike. But thankfully, I had someone in my life who allowed me to do me, to ask a million questions, to listen closely, and give me the room I needed to grow into myself. My wise mother tried to make me understand the reasons behind what she taught me. I still hear her say, "Robyn, you'll understand one day when you have a girl of your own." Janet Marie Williams, a remarkable single woman, raising and providing for 3 children, my beloved mother, friend, and go-to through my youth and young adult life, always emboldened me to be myself. I now have a daughter of my own. We adopted Jillian and her twin brother, Jeremy, as newborns, and storytelling has been a big part of their lives from the very start. Their birth mother and birth father told us their dream was to open an independent bookstore. And even as they were in their NICU, after being born prematurely, we read our babies books, lots of books. When they were in preschool, we taught them to read and instilled in them a love of libraries. Bedtime was story time. I'm proud to say that today, at age 11, their birthdays just a couple of days ago on March 31st, both are voracious readers with deep appreciation and imagination, humor, and escape. Jillian loves reading and listening to fantasy, sci-fi, and magical adventures. She enjoys writing and is expressing herself through poetry. Jeremy loses himself in Norse mythology and fantasy, the kind of fantasy that actually can come true, he says. It took me many years to decide to tell my story. When I made up my mind to write a book, I knew I had to be ready. I had to be prepared to relive my past, to dig into it, examine it, and feel the hurt, grief, and joy. For 2 years, I lived in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I wrote about my parents' frequent fights, my father's infidelity, my mother's pain, and the bright light of her mommy love that nourished and soothed me. Through research and writing, I got to know and understand my brother and to accept the realities of my sister's mental illness. It is incredible how many memories returned as I wrote. When I met Whitney Houston, a slim, fresh-faced teen at a summer rec program, I innately knew that there was something special about her. Our easy friendship grew quickly and powerfully as we shared our dreams. When she said, "Stick with me and I'll take you all around the world," I believed her. I listened to my heart against the advice of those around me. My Uncle Robert joked, "You think this girl is going to make it big, huh? That only happens in the movies, child." When I finally finished writing my book, I was relieved and exhausted. In a way, I had experienced my life all over again, mentally and emotionally. But then I thought, how extraordinary that a Black girl from a single parent home in East Orange could one day travel the world, eventually completing 9 concert tours, 6 of them global tours over 2 decades. I was so privileged to meet the biggest names of the time, from celebrities to princesses to to heads of state. Richard Pryor, Quincy Jones, Lena Horne, Michael Jackson, Muhammad Ali, Sammy Davis Jr., President Clinton, Ella Fitzgerald, and Nelson Mandela. So many greats. Which brings me back to you. It's so important to lift spirits and do our best to inspire self-confidence in the girls of today and women of tomorrow. Girls, don't be afraid to speak your truth, to own it, and stand up for your beliefs. After all, you'll find what I did. There is only one you. Only you have lived your story, and your story is you. And with that, all there is left for me to say is, girls, right now, please write, write, and write. I'd like to thank Dutton's Christine Ball and the rest of my extraordinary team for helping to make this moment possible for me. And also a special thanks to Molly McDermott, and of course to all of you, the mentees and mentors. I am humbled to be with you all tonight.